The place I feel more comfortable, I think, is in my studio because that's the only place I can be myself and without being judged. I'm social, I'm not antisocial. I like socializing, but I like real deep conversation, you know? And if it is missing, then I'm lost. I don't plan a day. It just comes, and most of the time my routine is waking up, going to feed my chickens, and then coming to the studio, trying to prepare the space, and sometimes also going to Ajuku to make sure everything is okay. But when I am working on my project, I really log the world outside and really focus. So my name is Shabu Mwangi, visual artist. I live here in Mukuru, Lunga, and to me is a very important thing, and it always reminds me the need of art in the society and the role art plays. I am able maybe to move from Mukuru, but I won't serve the purpose of what I think I should be doing, because my work maybe is not consumed here, but to me it gives me a purpose why I'm here, because there are a lot of what you see in my work happening in such setup of community injustice and everything around it. My career in art started when I was really young and I was still in primary school. Some years after, I heard of a vocational training where they were giving like art skills, and I was very eager to join and maybe take it as a serious path for me. This was around 2001. I was 17 years old. I didn't stay there for long in this institution. I was there just for a few months, and then I was given a job as a gallerist. So I have worked as a gallerist. When I was very young, I was selling work from other artists. That's where I met some artists who we work with now, and after their graduation, we saw the need of maybe coming together and forming a collective where we can be supporting each other. So that's how Ajuku was born. Ajuku is a collective of artists, and we have very active members, and these are artists, and also we have other members who do social work. And when I say the community, those who interact direct with mostly are kids, because we have a kids club where we offer like a space for kids to come and express. And also we have youth who we offer like mentorship programs. The most important subject here for us as Ajuku goes back to when we were growing as young kids and what we lacked. So we don't want these kids we work with to feel the same or to go through the same thing. To me, I think one thing art gives hope. For us, we had to create that hope in our work. But now kids have a room where they can come, share what is happening in their life, share their view of how they are seeing the world. And then from sharing, there is a certain energy which elevates them to still believe tomorrow will be better, and they can do something, and they feel they belong in changing the world. My journey as an artist really took shape when I did my first solo show. I think I was 24, and I did it with Xavier, and this was at Roller Stick. Technically, my work is oil on canvas. I really like using oil because it gives me more freedom to change whatever I want to change, because working with the emotions is something which is always bumpy. In this moment, you are okay with the way the work is. In the next moment, you feel like, no, I have to change it. And I'm trying to use as a very light oil as I can, so that it gives me more room to apply more layers. To travel as an artist, I think, is a growth, because to have a mirror is always something which tells you where to do something and where to adjust or to go slow. And to me, when I travel, honestly, most of the time I see injustice. and is very polished to a point you think you are the problem, but you are not the problem. You know, the problem is the system which controls economy and everything and so on. So traveling always gives me a room to understand that we are not alone. Even in the so-called first world, there are also people struggling with the same thing we are struggling with here in our community. Ajuku as a collective will take part in Documenta 15, which is happening in 2022. We are still at the preparation level. We want to document our path as an artist and what it means to be an artist living in the community. In my new work, I was really focusing on self, and I really want to dissolve self to a point that whatever is happening around the world or around my community doesn't really have to burden me as an individual. The reality is no one is free. Everyone is connected to one or the other person. Like you have a family, you have a clan, you have a tribe. My work is really examining these stages. The reason behind one figure is I have to stand first to be self before I think of collective and connection. And this exhibition, I think, will shape how I will ground myself in my next approach of work. And it's very important for me to see how people will react with it, because it is very personal. It doesn't have a lot of interaction with the outside. It's more from inside. And I'm really looking forward to see how people will relate with me, because this is me.
My name is Shabu Mwangi, and I'm a poet, playwright, performer. And these days, more and more, I'm also an artist mentor, which I'm really enjoying. I have been working with Shabu Mwangi on this amazing exhibition, and I helped him with his poetry. He's been writing poetry for a long time, and this time he's combining his visual work with his poetry. I think he is just a brilliant, brilliant artist. And you know, his art makes me realize how many ways there are to be brilliant, how many intelligences we have. One of the things that his art does and his poetry does is that it humanizes people who live and come from the spaces that he comes from, and humanizes it and shows us their brilliance. You know, so I'm really, really, really thrilled to have met him.
Poems, to me, in this exhibition, is a medium just to soften my work. You know, because the work is what giving the poem some weight and meaning, but poem will accompany the work just to soften what people sometimes are scared of. Poem are more polite than the painting, you know. Seeing my exhibition up and accompanied by the poems, for the first time, being brave enough to share my writing with the universe, I think is something I'm really happy with. And this being an inner expression, like self-expression, I feel released, because it was a struggle to put up some work which I see here. But finally I can smile when I see them on a whiteboard.